Hello, my name is Alpa Jabari, and I'm the managing editor and executive publisher of USA Armenian Life News Company. Today, I have the great pleasure and honor to host one of the dynamic local candidates here in the city of Glendale. The local pre-election campaign has become very interesting and rich in terms of the variety of local candidates. So in the background of a very groundbreaking national election, the local election here in the city of Glendale, California is also very interesting and educational. I'd like to welcome a new rising local star, Jordan Henry, who's running for the City of Glendale Council membership. Welcome to USA Armenian Life TV on AMGA.
Thank you, Apo. I'm really excited to be here.
Could you please tell our viewers as to what compelled you to run for office in the City of Glendale?
Sure, I would love to. I have two young boys, and I am young myself. I'm in my mid-30s. And moving to Glendale was always a dream for my family and I. We want to make sure that the quality of life that we all have in Glendale is maintained for as long as possible. And I'm very concerned that things are changing very quickly. And if we don't have somebody on council like myself to directly oppose those changes and to construct a better future for our families and our city, I'm worried we're going to lose that quality of life here.
What major changes would you like to promote?
Sure, yeah. Well, we're seeing right now state overreach into our local zoning authority, for instance. So the state of California passed Senate Bills 9 and 10. Senate Bill 9 in particular will rapidly change our single-family residential homes. With that Senate bill, the city of Glendale will be forced to permit and approve massive development on single-family residential neighborhoods. You could put up 4, 6, 8, even 8 units on a single-family residential parcel with no off-street parking required. And I'm very concerned that traffic, which is already an issue here in Glendale, is just going to get way worse. It's going to take longer to get places. People are going to drive even faster, and it's going to become more dangerous to be on the streets of Glendale. That's just one aspect. Another big issue that I'm concerned about is public safety. And I am the only non-incumbent, so the only newcomer, running for city council who received the police officer's endorsement here in Glendale. And I'm very proud to announce that because I am deeply invested in public safety.
Thanks. Many local residents are very, very concerned about the fact that, like you mentioned, losing the serenity of local life, and also they're actively struggling against the so-called New Yorkification of Los Angeles as a whole, and more specifically Glendale.
Right.
Do you see any major challenge in your quest to reduce traffic? Are there any other candidates that don't care about the traffic getting worse in Glendale?
Well, that's a good question. And in fact, there are several candidates who are currently, and current council members, who are currently arguing to slow down traffic, to make it more difficult to drive your car through the city. Now, we need to have adequate public transportation, but what council is currently trying to do is to force people to take public transit in a way that takes away your agency, your choice, your freedom from transporting yourself and your family around the city of Glendale. And in the meantime, we'll be having to fund those changes to our city, and it's very expensive to do the things that are being proposed right now in City Council. And again, the New Yorkification, that's a great term, of Glendale should not happen. We do need development, but the city is under the grips of the state right now in terms of having to meet housing requirements. The state is requiring in the next 8 years something like 14,000 new units in Glendale. And that is something that is not feasible. It is not a sustainable rate of growth. And we need to be very careful as to where we put housing, where we put developments, and to make sure that we're serving the community who do need housing, but we're also not taking away from neighborhoods where we do want privacy, where we do want single-family residential neighborhoods. There has to be a balance moving forward, and I am very concerned that we're going to lose control over our agency as a city.
Jordan, several years ago, a major push, major tacit campaign took place on the part of the city of Los Angeles to take over Glendale. In other words, dismantle the cityhood of the city of Glendale, get rid of the city's sovereignty, and make Glendale part of Los Angeles City by replacing the local police department by the LAPD, etc., etc. So what is your position on that possibility? What would you do to prevent future attempts to take over Glendale, to make Glendale part of the city of Los Angeles?
That is a great question, and I am very concerned that Glendale will lose its sovereignty, as you put it. We are a full-service premier city, and that includes police and our own utility as well. Glendale Water and Power is a jewel asset for the Jewel City, and we've had Glendale Water and Power for I think since 1940. If we lose that, and if we lose our police, lose our firefighters, we won't be a city anymore. We will become absorbed into the city of Los Angeles. So Glendale really needs to be careful about how its policies ensure a bright future and ensure our stability as an independent city that represents you, the people, and vice versa. You need to help us maintain our city. So I really do hope you'll vote for me on June 7th to make sure that happens.
Back in the 1940s, the city of Glendale had a small population, and the founding fathers, the managing fathers of the city of Glendale saw it fit to let the city manager carry out the role of a real mayor. Jordan, my question to you, now that the city of Glendale has become a bustling city of small metropolitan city with nearly 250,000 population, do you agree that the governing powers of the city of manager should be relegated or transferred to a mayor or city council that is being elected by the people, so that there is accountability by a new structure in the city where the mayor who gets elected by the people is directly accountable for the day-to-day operation of the city itself, and of course have the city council members participate with him in the day-to-day governance, as opposed to the current status of the city council members who do not have that much power and that much say in the city's day-to-day management?
That's a good question, and the more opportunity that the residents, the voters, have to engage in democracy, direct democracy in the city of Glendale, the better. So with the mayor, I absolutely agree. We need, or we should have, an elected mayor, a general election for the mayor. Right now, we also have general elections for city council. You may not know this, but 4 out of the 5 current city councilmen and women live in Verdugo Woodlands. So not only do we have an appointed mayor, which is almost a ceremonial position selected from sitting members of council, but they all represent, they have a self-interest to represent a certain area of the city. So in addition to that, in addition to an elected mayor, I believe that we need to have council districts as well. That would enable not only better representation for South Glendale to the La Crescenta Annex to Northwest Glendale, but also it would allow people to run for election and not have to have such spread resources. It takes a lot of money and time to reach every part of the city. And if we did have council districts, like other cities do, like Pasadena and Inglewood, both of those cities are smaller than Glendale, mind you. So if we did have those, it would enable more people to run for office to better represent every part of the city. So yes, on an elected mayor, and yes, on council districts, and also, I'll add to it again, yes, on an elected city attorney, because the city attorney should also represent the people. He should be accountable to you, the voters. He or she should be accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Jordan, what is your affinity with the local American Armenian community and the Glendalian segment of the American Armenian community is one of the largest voting blocks in Glendale. So how is your relationship with the community, and what is your affinity with their ethnic background and heritage, culture and heritage?
Great question, and I have really been impressed by the Armenian community here in Glendale. When I first moved here, I actually rented a home on Grandview, just south of Kenneth Village, and my landlord was a young Armenian guy and a beautiful individual with a great family. And he actually he lived behind me in a guest house, and I couldn't have asked for a better landlord. I don't think I've ever had a better landlord than that. I have been received openly, graciously, from every Armenian I've encountered, and they're incredibly open people, very warm and emotional, and that to me has just been a really, really bright spot to living in Glendale. I feel very welcome here, and in addition to that, knowing the history and the legacy of Armenia and the challenges that Armenians have underwent. I just want to be very clear that I am a strong supporter of the sovereignty and the independence and the defense of our longtime ally with the United States, the Republic of Armenia and the Republic of Artsakh. So thank you for the question.
Thank you so much, Jordan, and I wish you all the best, more success to you. As I see a pathway for a bright future as a political leader, not a politician, but a political leader in service of the community and humanity at large.
Thank you so much, Apo.
Yeah, repeat that.
Thank you so much, Apo, and it is a real pleasure to be here in Glendale, and I hope you'll vote for me on June 7th. I am the first on the ballot, and I am also the first on quality of life issues here in Glendale to represent you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hello, my name is Apo Jabarian. I'm the managing editor and executive publisher of USA Armenian Live News Company. I have the great pleasure and honor to host a local candidate for U.S. Congress, Johnny Nalbandian. Johnny, could you please tell our viewers as to why you're running for U.S. Congress?
Yes, I'll tell you, and I'm really thrilled to be here. Really thrilled to be here. I'm really honored to be on your show today. I've been following you for quite a long time. And why am I running for Congress, Oppo? Well, it's simple. I've loved politics since 5 years old. I was supposed to run in my 20s, and we had a family tragedy, and I couldn't. I was born in New Jersey. My parents came to America in 1944, and my mother used to go crazy sometimes. She'd go, "My Johnny, he crazy. Other kids watch Yogi Bear, Boo Boo. My son, politic. But I love America, and I've been a patriot. I would, again, since 5 years old. A lot of people won't believe that, but if we had much more time, I'd tell you the whole story.
Could you please tell our viewers what are the major issues that are driving your campaign? What are the challenges that you think this great country is facing right now, and what is it that you could do to make life better?
Well, if you go over to my website, most candidates have one platform. I have two. One is called Contract with Our Community, and the other is Platform of Liberty, which is our national platform. Right now on the campaign trail, a lot of people, there's four main issues that they're really worried about. One is crime. The other is inflation, pulling up at the gas station. In fact, I sometimes I campaign at the gas stations, if you can believe that, talking to people. And inflation, they're saying, is 7% baloney. It's about 15 to 20% that this illegitimate regime that we have in the White House has put together. And the other is election fraud. Me and 12 other candidates have filed a lawsuit to the state of California, and we are headed to the Ninth Circuit. In fact, if you want to learn about this lawsuit and support it, we're not trying to overturn the 2020 election, but what we're trying to do is procedurally go forward, and you can go to www.eip/ca.com. Okay, and the other one is, the housing costs, and that all goes with inflation. But what they've done here, and homelessness is another big issue. I'm promising this. When I ran in 2018, I made a promise that if elected, you will not see one homeless person in my district. And that same promise goes today.
In other words, you will do everything to house every single homeless and empower them to become productive members of our society again, lift them up.
Oppo, I'm not for handouts. I'm for hand up. And I have a business plan where people like yourself could make money, investment, not government owned, but government backed, okay? And it's a full line plan. And one day I wish, like I said, we had more time, I could walk you through my plan. It's going to be a two-tier business plan where that we would have also a big place for them, the ones that don't want to be there, that are a little bit need help, the dope addict ones and all that. And then also, we're going to get them jobs. I want to create businesses for them and go from there.
Speaking of foreign policy, what is your view on the current administration's decision to sell F-16 to genocidal Turkey?
To what? Can you repeat that, please?
The current administration is planning on selling F-16 bombers to Turkey.
I'm totally against that. And if elected, when I'm elected, I will be Erdogan and Aliyev's biggest nightmare. And I will fight for every Armenian cause. I'm just not going to come around once a year in March on April 24th, okay? I will be the American Armenian pit bull in Congress.
Thank you so much, Johnny, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Breaking news. Recently, Emmy Award-winning journalist, radio host, and author Chad Olson issued an endorsement of Johnny Nalbandian's candidacy to U.S. Congress. Olson said, Johnny Nalbandian is a living example of the American dream. He exudes an authentic love of country, a burden for our national struggle, and a passionate desire to see California and America restored to the full vision of Reagan's shining city on the hill. He has my fullest endorsement for Congress. Candidate Johnny Nalbandian made the following statement. I am honored to have the endorsement of the great Chad Olson, Emmy-winning journalist, radio host, and author. It is a testament to my integrity as a candidate and as an American. On June 7th, the choice is clear. Vote for our Community First movement. Support our local and national platforms. Visit www.votejohnny.us.
Hi, I'm Scott Silverstein. I'm running for City Council in Council District 3.
Consisting of the great cities of Canoga Park, Reseda, Tarzana, Winnetka, and Woodland Hills.
I'm proud to say that Council District 3 has amongst the highest concentration of Armenian citizens in the city of Los Angeles.
My campaign is focused on the families and neighbors that live and work in the communities of the West Valley. Communities that rightfully feel abandoned after years of decline. Communities that deserve results. Communities that deserve better. My wife of almost 30 years is an LAUSD public school teacher, and we raised our daughters in the West Valley, who are now proudly pursuing careers that give back to the community. I believe in providing Angelenos with quality public safety. I will work to fully fund the LA Police Department and bring the ranks back to a force of 10,000 sworn, well-trained officers who will do their jobs compassionately and professionally throughout our city. I am the only candidate running with a fully formed and ready homeless plan, which I call the MORE Plan, which is an acronym for Mental Health Over Real Estate. Instead of spending taxpayer money on the one-size-fits-all $730,000 apartments, my plan saves hundreds of millions of dollars on the upfront real estate costs and instead provides the much-needed mental health and addiction services first, in addition to providing immediate transitional and permanent housing. My plan also provides funding for job placement and family services to those facing financial straits. You can read all about my plan in detail on my website. But most importantly to me, I'm running to be your advocate.
And it's very important that the representative understand Armenia's independence and sovereignty is of the utmost importance, and that the genocide did in fact happen.
As a city, and especially in the West Valley, we must plan for the future. Water, power, traffic, lack of public Wi-Fi, and crumbling streets are all issues we face with very little being done to solve these solvable problems. I have heard all throughout the campaign about broken promises and feeling ignored. My office will be open and transparent. I will work with communities, with neighborhood councils, with organizations, not against them. I will immediately modify the Warner Center 2035 plan and work to make sure that at least 25% of the new units are registered as affordable or workforce housing, so our children and those starting out can afford to live in the community they grew up in. As a proud Angeleno since 1984, I have led community organizations and nonprofits for over 20 years. I know how to navigate our city's bureaucracy, and I have achieved results that have strengthened our neighborhoods and bettered the lives of underprivileged children and those less fortunate.
This is a park in Calabasas, and this is a park in Council District 3. Another park in Council District 3. This is another park in Calabasas. I'm here at Brandon's Village. This is a park that was specifically designed for our children with special needs. I'm going to work to get a park, put it to CD3 for our children with special needs. This is the state-of-the-art Calabasas Senior Center, And this is the senior center for CD3. It's the only senior center in the entire district. The building is over 60 years old and hasn't seen any attention from the city of Los Angeles or the council office. And right now, the people from CD3 have to come here to Calabasas to get out of the heat and socialize. If I'm elected, I will make sure that we have senior citizen centers throughout the district. This is a typical city-maintained road in Calabasas. And unfortunately, this is not your atypical city street in Reseda. Tarzana, Winnetka, Canoga Park, and Woodland Hills. We are the city of Los Angeles, and we're supposed to be a world-class city, but our streets and sidewalks are crumbling, and we aren't receiving the city services that we spend our hard-earned tax dollars for, when the neighboring cities are prospering and looking better than ever. Enough is enough.
I respectfully ask for your vote on June 7th. You can read more about my plans on my website, electscottsilverstein.com. Thank you very much.